glass of wine, maybe relax nerves a little bit, you know? Yeah.
Because like, what are you trying to accomplish whenever you drink? Get fucked up. And I don't want to get fucked up. I don't like
See,
the
that's
feeling.
not what I try to accomplish, but you know.
Well, other than that, I'm just putting calories into my body. If I'm gonna put a bunch of calories into my body, I want it to taste
Make
better
it
than
pizza.
some of the drinks I have. Yeah, pizza, Dr. Pepper,
Cheeseburgers.
curly fries, onion rings.
Butts.
All I have to say is this is the Dunder Mifflin Meredith Palmer Memorial, race for the rabies cure pro-am T-shirt right here. It's great.
Oh, motherfucker!
Rabies,
I'm wearing a
rabies
fucking
awareness.
I'm wearing a fucking green shirt and I didn't even notice it.
St. Patty's, bro.
Son of a bitch.
How are they gonna know we're wearing green?
Are you wearing green?
Well, my shorts are, yes.
Oh no, but you're wearing. Well, nobody can see your shorts, so it doesn't matter.
All right, let's get real meta for
Okay.
St. Patty's Day.
Okay.
The green screens are up,
Okay.
but we don't chroma key them.
Okay. Oh, we just be. That's actually that's a phenomenal idea. I don't know why I like that idea so much, but I do really like that idea. That's not bad. Why does this change every single time?
Oh, okay, we're live now. Got it.
Yeah, we're live. Yeah, I told you I was pressing go live.
You say the go live button, and then I don't know if you actually do the button.
I said I didn't, and then whenever I clicked it, I said, okay, I click the button. It's because you don't listen to me. And I get it. I totally... Look, that's the thing. I totally understand the not listening to me thing. I 1000% get it. Because I talk a lot and say a bunch of nonsensical shit. And so whenever I do say something pertinent, it's like the boy who cried wolf type of thing. Nobody really needs to listen to me that often at all. But whenever I do say something important, I've already scared everybody off. And so they're not listening to me whenever I say it. Bunch of likes. That means Andy's watching, I have a feeling. Let's see. Me,
Oof,
Kyle,
I didn't realize the video was
and...
bad on your end.
Yeah, the video is very bad. So first, before we get into it, before we start, legitimately start the episode, first, I want to say that fuck Skype. That's it. Just fuck Skype. Because Skype and OBS don't want to work together unless you're using Skype Classic. Well, Skype decided to make everybody update, and we can't use Skype Classic anymore. And the video was so much better on that. It worked so much better. And so we can't use Skype for OBS until they figure out the issues between the two fucking programs. So we have to use Discord, and Discord's video is ass. It is, I like their voice channels are good. Discord is good for messaging and other things, but when it comes to video, it's absolute garbage. Just absolute ass garbage. But anyway, this is Nerded Up, episode 81. Your kids don't even listen to you. Why should I? Says Kyle. That's a fair point. This is episode 81. This is our Captain Marvel review. I went to Austin for South by Southwest this weekend, and so I am hurting. I'm hurting between the walking and all of the crazy shit that happened last night. I am hurting. But I did want to finally do the Captain Marvel review with these guys because we've been waiting for over a week now. And so we're going to do it. And I'm going to power through this. Essentially, I might fall asleep while the two of you just talk about your feelings about the movie. So Captain Marvel has been fucking review bombed on every single platform. And let's just go through them real fast. On Rotten Tomatoes, Captain Marvel it's up to a 62% audience score, but I swear to God it was in the 50s like a few days ago. And then on Metacritic, it's down to... Why aren't you showing me things? In Metacritic, it's down to a 64 with a 3.6 user score. So it's getting review bombed like crazy. And so going into it, I thought, you know what? Maybe it's getting a review bomb because people are mad about the content of the movie. Whatever, I get that. That's fine. But maybe there are some legitimate issues with it. And so I went into it thinking, okay, I'm not going to be all biased. I'm not going to be all hyped because that's what happens whenever I watch it is I get a little bit too hyped sometimes. And so I tried to go in with like an open mind of like maybe this movie just isn't good. I'm sorry, man. I watched it. I didn't have any of the issues that other people have with it. I thought it was a really fun movie. I thought it was really good. And I'm so sick and tired of people wanting these fucking groundbreaking films to be done with superhero films. Just enjoy some badass action. Like, too many people complaining about too many dumb things, like the beginning of the movie was too slow, or what the fuck else, like complaining about the relationship between Carol Danvers and her best friend. I love the movie, and there are so many different reasons why I love the movie, and I thought it was the perfect setup to lead us into Endgame. But what did you guys think? Like, what were your initial thoughts of Captain Marvel after you saw it?
You have to call in one of us. Otherwise, we just get confused.
Stefan, go. Jesus.
I really enjoyed it. You know, it's at the end of the day, it is a Marvel origin movie. None of the origin movies outside of like Iron Man have been like anything spectacular. They're all solid movies. They're not, you know, the best of the Marvel series. I don't think I would put any of the origin movies honestly in my like top 10. But you know, it was a Marvel origin movie. It was good. It was enjoyable. It wasn't as like comedic as other Marvel movies, and I think that's fine because if you're familiar with the Captain Marvel character, she's not really a funny character by any means, and her stories aren't funny stories. So I was fine with that kind of tone of the movie. But I do like the kind of dynamic between Nick Fury and the rest of the cast as well.
I did too.
And we got some like backstory too on like little things, how like Clark Gregg's character Agent Coulson has like such a good relationship with Nick Fury, where like Nick Fury is willing to bring him back from the dead in like Agents of Shield. So I don't know. The movie sets up a lot, answers some questions, and it is just a good fun movie. And it's not anything groundbreaking, but I don't know what people are honestly expecting.
I don't either, man. I don't get it. Like, I thought this was, I liked this actually more than Wonder Woman probably. Well, I don't know. It's probably about the same for me, honestly. But people are like, "Oh my God, Wonder Woman was so amazing." I felt like this was every bit as good. Yeah. I liked Brie Larson as Captain Marvel. I thought she was really good, and I think like one thing she did really well from some of the stuff that I've read, trying to like off and on, like trying to keep up with it, figure out what the Captain Marvel character is like, because I really didn't know much about her. So I go and read bits and pieces of comics here and there, and it seems like she's more that like dry, sarcastic type of character, but she's really more of your Captain America type. She's more stoic.
The way I like to compare her is that Captain America is like the old school World War II soldier, where he's like very patriotic and very like upbeat for a soldier, and Captain Marvel is more the modern day soldier, where she's fighting what she believes in. She's very stoic, emotional, sure, but she's going to be more snarky than anything else.
Yeah, exactly. And I thought she did that perfectly. Carrie, what did you think of the movie?
I didn't enjoy Ant-Man and the Wasp. I hated that movie. So I had really low expectations for Captain Marvel. But I came out of there I had a blast with that movie. I had a lot more fun than I thought I would. I thought it was a lot of fun. Funnier than most people think it was, probably.
Yeah, I didn't mind Samuel L. Jackson as the comedic relief.
Yeah, I thought that was nice about him, just showing a different side of his character. And like, of course, he would over the years he'd have to become this gruff, no nonsense, I have to do everything to save the fucking universe type of guy. But I really enjoyed seeing that side of his character. I had no problem with Brie Larson. I thought her character was very. It was offset well with the rest of the cast. I think her more scenes, like if all the characters were like her, it would have been really, really boring and kind of pointless. But with all the characters having different personalities, like Ben Mendelsohn as one of the, what do you call it, as the Skrull, his little Australian accent and his little quips, that was great. And the relationship, I don't know why people are complaining with the relationship with their friend. Like my wife and her best friend have known each other for 7-8 years now, and my kids call her Aunt Livia and everything. So
So
I
wait,
don't know
wait.
why that's a problem.
I haven't heard this. What is the complaint about the relationship between these characters?
When the movie came out, or I think it was like right before the movie came out, and then like a little like for the couple of days afterwards, one of the biggest complaints about the movie was that there was a sect of comic book guys and a sect of like Marvel fans that were upset that they tried to make the movie and the main relationship of the movie be between Carol and why am I forgetting her name? Her friend. And
Rambo is her last name.
Yeah, Rambo, and then people were also mad that they made Marvel a female character. Well, I just don't care. Like Marvel is going to be gone and gives Carol Danvers her powers, so the character doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter whether it's a male or a female anyway. And then people were upset that there wasn't like a love interest or a main relationship. What the hell is the difference between Captain Marvel and her best friend being the main relationship for the character, and freaking Captain America and Bucky Barnes being the main relationship for the first Captain America movie? Like there were a lot of complaints that it was more like people said they were trying to make it about female empowerment and make it a feminist film, and I just didn't feel that even a little bit. It's just like it felt like a normal human movie where the main character was a female and she had also a best friend who was a female, which is pretty common, I think, in the world, where usually females, their best friends are usually other females. Exactly, because you have to be like in the military, you find your clique, you find your people. There's like 2 or 3 good people that you make friends with, and for females, it's really, really difficult because they're trying to like prove that they can be just as tough as men, and they have more. They always feel like they have more to prove, so they have to like bond with each other.
And let's be honest, when those in their characters' world in the late '80s, like, female Air Force pilots were extremely few and far between.
Yeah.
So if you had 2 of them that clicked, that's going to be a pretty strong bond, and I think that came across pretty well in the movie.
And I was trying to explain that to some people too, that they were just like, oh, you know, it's a female empowerment movie. They had the scenes of like the guys in the Air Force like saying shit to her and stuff like that. I'm like, well, that's not necessarily like this is about female empowerment. That's just historically accurate for the 80s. Like that's just how that was. So I mean, you know, sure, is there a girl power like underlying theme? Yeah, but it's not a main tenet of the movie. It's more like just they're trying to be historically accurate.
Yes.
That she would have had a hard time.
Yes, and like so. Okay, I'll use this example. So when I was watching the Netflix, I watched both the Fire Festival documentaries over the last week, and the one on Hulu is so much better than the one on Netflix. And a lot of that is because the one on Netflix was done by the guys from Fuck Jerry, from Jerry Media. Well, they were hired by the Fire Festival people like Ja Rule and the main guy who fucking got in trouble for everything. But they were hired by them to run all the entire marketing and social media campaign for the Fire app and the Fire Festival. And so, but then they made this documentary on Netflix, and you could feel the entire time that essentially they were just trying to say, we had nothing to do with it, we didn't have any control, but here's everything else that happened. So they made this documentary with the underlying theme of, it wasn't so much to show you what happened in Fire Festival, it was more to show you that they had nothing to fucking do with it. And the reason they kept the marketing campaign going is because they were paid to do that. The other one on Hulu, you didn't feel that at all. So like with Captain Marvel, the correlation with that is I felt the entire time watching the Fire Festival documentary that it was they were trying to clear their name. That was the message. There was this underlying theme the entire time. With Captain Marvel, you could see moments of women empowerment, see moments of her getting shit on, but I never felt like that was that underlying theme the entire time. And usually when movies are trying to push a message, like Avatar or any other movie like that, you can feel the message the entire time. They're overtly trying to push this. This was just character dealing with shit that she would have had to deal with at the time and dealing with struggles. It wasn't trying to push this feminist, like fucking, this feminist ideology all throughout the movie. It was just she was having a shitty time at the time period that she lived in, and that's like Stefan said, is absolutely accurate. Which apparently, I don't know how much it's made so far, but apparently it killed in its second weekend already. So it just, I don't understand why people want to review bomb this movie so bad. I really do. So I said this a few minutes ago, and I don't know if you guys agree. I really do feel like this movie was the perfect setup to Endgame. Like, I'm so fucking hyped and ready. I was already going to be hyped and ready for Endgame, but this movie leads us perfectly into that. And then we see the trailer where, or like at the end of the movie, the secret scene and during the first post-credit scene, we see Carol Danvers walk up and meet Captain America and some of the other Avengers. Then we see the Endgame trailer where she meets Thor. And like, I'm really hyped for her to join this group of heroes. I think honestly, there's a lot about her that's more interesting than some of the heroes that are a part of it. Period. Some of the heroes that are left. So, I don't know. I felt like this was the perfect setup. I don't know about what you guys think. Carrie, you go first.
I do think it was a good setup. I think this having it spaced this far out from the last Avengers movie was probably a good idea. I think they should have done the same thing with Ant-Man because it just fell so flat. But I guess I can see how some people would have like legitimate problems with it, because listening to some of them, it's like, well, you just made her like one of the most powerful beings in the universe. How are you gonna scale it down for the Avengers stuff? And I'm like, that makes sense, but there's going to be an explanation for it. They're not just going to be like, she's not as powerful because reasons. It's going to be like, she should have died in the snap, and now she's using her powers to survive just for a little bit or something.
So I like I don't understand that complaint there. Like, people are like, she's so powerful. It's like, yeah, but like DC has Superman, and that's never a problem.
Right.
And also on top of it, like, are you afraid that she's too powerful for Endgame? She got her power from one of the Infinity Stones. Right. Thanos got his power from 5 of the Infinity Stones. So, like, there's no comparison. Like, theoretically, he's 5 times more powerful than her.
Right.
Like, I don't know. It's a bad complaint.
It's a terrible complaint because it's so easy to find something that would make her less powerful. The easiest way to go about it is what you just said, Stefan, is she is more powerful than any of the superheroes that we've seen, and they made her the most powerful superhero in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But what about villains? What about Thanos? We haven't even seen Adam Warlock yet, and they teased him for a reason. I really feel like we have to see him during Endgame at some point, right? Like, and even if we don't, like, she could be more powerful than all the other superheroes and still not be powerful enough to stop what she needs to stop. Like, that's really, really easy to write in there. It's now her being as powerful as she is gives them a better chance at bringing everybody back or beating whatever they need to beat or fixing the world, but that doesn't necessarily mean she's so absolutely powerful that she's going to fix everything just because she's too overpowered. That's just a dumb complaint, and people are just mad. I honestly think people are just mad that they made a chick the most powerful character in the MCU, and I don't give a shit. I thought she was badass. Like, I don't care if it's a guy or a girl. The final 20 minutes of the movie with all the action and combat, I thought was really fucking cool. When she starts flying around blasting a bunch of shit out of the sky, I thought it was fucking awesome. And so it's cool to see somebody see her with these powers, and I don't give a shit if she's the most powerful. Just make the most powerful person be an absolute badass. And that's what they did with her. What are some of the parts that you guys didn't like? Were there any parts that y'all had issues with? Stefan, you can go.
The beginning was kind of, I don't know. I like the idea of kind of doing like a memory recovery fish out of water thing, but they didn't delve too much into the fish out of water thing. Like, yeah, she doesn't quite understand what like a security guard is or anything like that, but I think that could have been played up a little bit more. And could have put, like, keep her maintaining her super serious stoic character, and then kind of goofing around Earth a little bit, and like just trying to figure out what the hell's going on, Yeah. I don't know, like have her walk into like a fast food place or something like that, be confused by like a McDonald's or something. I don't know. I feel like that could have been played up a little bit, especially because it was kind of like a big deal that, she's back on her home planet, but she doesn't remember any of it. And I think the beginning could have been done a little bit better instead of like a memory thing. Start her off as a kid. Let's play through some of those scenes that she had like little memories of, because they look like they would have been really good like 5-minute scenes.
Yeah.
You know, and show her progression a little bit.
Specifically, just like even just one of the kid scenes. I don't like even if you don't want to necessarily show the full progression because you want to do flashback stuff. I think showing just one would have been really cool in the beginning. Like the scene of her on the go-kart. Let that be the very first scene of the movie. Like that would have been really cool.
I think the go-kart scene, and that's exactly what I would feel too. Like, do the go-kart scene, extend that out a little bit, show her dad being a little bit more of an asshole and like a little bit more demeaning, and then pull that over into her in the Air Force. Yeah. And then instead of us getting a little snippet, have another like Air Force pilot that's acting like her dad, you know? And then you're drawing more into the character's like psyche of like why she's standing up for herself and why she's doing what she's doing. Yeah. Because, you know, it leans back on her childhood.
The one part that kind of bothered me a little bit, and it's not a big deal. It didn't bother me to like any large extent, but I felt like the way the scroll twist was a little clumsily done. Like it was a little weird, and then it's just like they just kind of go from these really, really bad guys to, oh, they're actually kind of okay people. And I get what the spirit of it was. It's war. They're just trying to find their family. They're just trying to find a home. But I don't know how they would have done it. I just would have liked them to do it a little bit cleaner and in maybe a little bit better of a way, where there were like maybe there were hints all along where we could have seen or something like that, or there were little bits and pieces. But I felt like it was just too much of a 180 too quickly, and it was almost like they kind of wrote it in there like, oh, they're good now. They're good guys. Oh, shit, they're good guys. So I would have liked to have seen them do that a little bit differently. But like I said, that was a minor thing. Carrie, do you have anything that you didn't like?
The de-aging on Coulson was a little jarring.
Coulson was weird. Yeah. Samuel L. Jackson was good.
Sam Jackson was fine. For whatever reason, they just couldn't get Coulson. I don't know.
It was his hair.
Have enough footage.
It was his weird fucking hair.
He did have some weird hair. The scroll thing was kind of odd, but I think, like, as I was thinking back to it, I'm like, you know, she was on that ship, but they were never actually like physically torturing her. They just kind of like went after her memories, and then she just kind of beat the shit out of them.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So I'm like, maybe they weren't so bad guys. But then again, I didn't really care because the way they did it. I love Ben Mendelsohn. I get a kick out of him. Whatever he's in.
He was Talos, right? The lead scroll. The lead scroll. Yeah. He was fantastic.
He's just funny in general. I like hearing him talk. And just he was like, you know, we can make a deal, whatever you want, mate. I'm just I liked it. I didn't have any problem with the way they went about it.
Why am I forgetting? Oh, Ben Mendelsohn was okay.
He's every bad guy that's a businessman.
Right, and he played Samuel L. Jackson's boss in the fucking movie too. Yeah. So okay, I was for some reason I'm like Ben Mendelsohn. Oh, it was the same fucking guy.
I mean, Ready Player One, Rogue One, you name it.
Yeah, I'm an idiot. Yeah. Overall, I thought it was really cool. I thought it was really good. I would pay to go see it in the theater again. It was that good that I would see it twice in the theaters.
Speaking of which, I'm going to cut you off here.
Yeah, you're good.
I'm going to go on a 2-second rant here.
Okay.
Because hearing movie theaters got my cockles all abruzzled.
Oh, God. Oh, no, he got your cockles. What?
His cockles have been raised.
Oh, God, don't raise Stefan's cockles.
All right. So, you know, I've said this before in past couple of reviews, but can we fucking get rid of movie theaters already? Like... just do straight to digital stream. I don't care if I'm spending $30 to stream a movie for, 4 hours or something like that. Like, seriously, we went to this movie. They were late starting the projector 30 minutes. What? By the way, this is like 40, 50 showings going on. So they were late starting the projector by 30 minutes. When they started up, it goes straight into like the little previews for the movie sort of deal. Like, oh, welcome to the movies. Play this digital game on the screen with us. That runs for about 15 minutes before someone else gets up and goes to the front and says, hey, you guys haven't even started the trailers. They start the fucking trailers up and someone goes like, whoever the projection is this, They're just back there, and they're fast forwarding through the fucking trailers. I had never seen that before. They would play the trailer for like 5 seconds, cut to black, go to the next trailer.
Go to the next one.
Jesus.
Yeah, and
What
so
kind of
that
ghetto-ass theater you go
this
to?
is a massive AMC 22. All right,
I've never had
This
any
is-
issues. Look, I know you have problems with your theater, and I don't go to AMC's. I go to Cinemark because I'm an elitist.
and then here's my favorite part about it too. When the movie finally started playing and everything, I was thinking about going up to complain about it, but I didn't. They never fixed the fucking aspect ratio, and the movie was in letterbox the whole time.
Aw.
Jesus Christ, dude.
So I'm probably gonna go pay to see it again somewhere.
Yeah.
But
Go to that one.
Don't go back there, man.
Find a Cinemark.
Yeah.
no,
don't-
that is the nicest theater in our area.
that's
The
awful.
Cinemark that we had was actually a little rinky-dinky, shitty dollar theater, which was now recently bought by AMC. And the AMC 22 is a massive, massive movie theater.
This is what you
normally,
get. This is
normally
what you
it's
get for
been
living in
fine.
South Carolina. This is
well,
what you get
it's
for
actually
living
North
in South
Carolina.
Oh, this is
That
what you
one,
get.
that's
This is the kind of movie theater you get in North Carolina. I've literally
Carolinas.
the most problems I've ever had at a movie theater was like, oh shit, they're out of Coke Icy. Fuck, I guess I'll get cherry then. Like that's that's the biggest issue I've ever had at a movie theater. I never have I feel like there's so many times you have issues where like I've never had an issue with them not starting a movie on time. First of all, ever.
it only happens for these really major releases.
Yeah, I feel like
when,
maybe
like the day of.
this movie just needs to hire better. This theater just needs to hire better people. Like I feel like they
They
just
have,
got
like,
they
promotions,
just hired
just get-
shitty people.
Yeah. Do they have promotions they just get behind on time with? Like special viewings?
No, I don't think so. Like this theater is really good about adding times, and like this happened similar to Doctor Strange a year or two ago, whenever Doctor Strange came out. They told us that they'll schedule the movie, and like they'll open up another theater to play the movie in, but someone won't program the projector, and then if the projectionist isn't there, then they're just fucked.
Jesus.
So-
that sucks.
Genius.
Yeah,
That's the
it's
perfect way to
bad.
run your business.
All right. Any final thoughts on Captain Marvel?
Great soundtrack too.
Ooh, very good soundtrack. Yeah, I thought the blockbuster scene was funny.
I go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say it was cool just seeing her like get up and walk, and then have all the VHSs of all the movies that were like out at that time. I thought that was pretty cool. It was a nice nostalgic moment. What were you gonna say?
I will
Stephanie?
say I wish I would have had more scenes with her and her Kree buddies, like
Yeah.
their little special forces team. I think that would have been nice. But
I'm really excited to see the dynamic between her and the rest of the Avengers.
Me too.
And of course, she's probably going to be taking over for Captain America as head. And I'm actually, it kind of makes me more excited for the next phase, because her taking over the head is such a drastic change from Captain America that while they're still both very about protecting the people around you
Mhm.
and the people who need it, they're going to go about things very differently.
Yeah.
So whereas Captain America would be like, oh, we have to like, minimize and kind of like surgically go in and out, I could definitely see Captain Marvel just being like, let's blow this shit up. Like,
Yep,
like let's
yeah,
just get
bombs
rid
for
of
a
them.
reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Captain
Get the
Marvel.
B2s in the air.
Captain Marvel will be more in line with the same thinking that like more in line with like almost like a mixture between Captain America and Tony Stark. You know what I mean? Where it's like maybe she'll be a little bit more she'll be a little bit more gung ho like Captain America, but she'll have that rash, not really think things through as personality of Tony Stark, where it's more of she wants to take action now, and she also doesn't give a fuck about protocol. So that's what I'm hoping. I mean, I guess when you're an intergalactic superhero protecting planets from massive, powerful aliens, you probably decide to be that a little bit more. I'm really excited to see her interaction with the Guardians of the Galaxy. Obviously, the first interaction with Thor was pretty fun, but I want to see I can't wait to see an interaction between her and Rocket. I think might be if they have. I hope they have one good one between the two of them. But yeah, it's a good setup for Endgame, and I'm super fucking hyped for Endgame now, which comes out in a month and a half, right?
Something like that. Yeah, it's
a
like
month
May.
and a half. Mm-hmm. It's the end of May, so I'm excited. What were you gonna say, Stefan?
I was gonna say I think that they're probably gonna have her do like at least 1 or 2 interactions with everyone, just to kind of like set the groundwork. I will find it interesting that if we get our cosmic heroes like Rocket and everyone to interact with her, if they kind of play it up that the Guardians already knew about her, like they fought the Kree, they're familiar with the galaxy, so Rocket's like, oh yeah, that's that ex-Kree soldier, what the hell's she doing here? The Kree. And, they're just like, oh, she's on our side.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. I didn't even think about that aspect. So, yeah, I liked it. Everybody who didn't like it's a dumbass. I can't believe it's got a 79% on the tomato meter. I can't believe it's got a 62% on the audience score. It's garbage. This movie, if I were rating this movie, I would give it like an 88. I think 87, 88 is right around the range. That's a damn good rating. 79% is too fucking low. Like it needs to be an 80 plus at the very least. What do you guys think?
It'd be in like the low 90s for me.
Oh really? That I think that's a little high, a little much. Although How to Train Your Dragon 3 got a 91%, so if that's the benchmark. Look at this. Hold on. There's no way the fucking Lego Movie 2 is better than Captain Marvel. Can we all agree that there's like there's a 22% chance that the Lego Movie 2 is better. It might be as good, but there's a 22% chance that the Lego Movie 2 is better than Captain Marvel. And that has an 86%. And then like look at the box office for the Lego Movie 2. $4 million at the box office. What in the world is this?
I think they botched the advertising for the Lego. So, like, the first Lego Movie, absolutely amazing.
Yes.
And I hear that the Lego Movie 2 was just as good, but I don't know. I think they botched their marketing on that one.
Terrible.
I really did. I didn't even know it came out.
Terrible. I have heard How to Train Your Dragon 3 is pretty incredible though, so I want to go see that. So I was out at South by Southwest this last weekend, like I told you, which is why I'm dragging ass right now. But one of the games that I kind of talked to you guys about it, and I'm really intrigued by this game, and this is what I wanted to close out with. But one of the games I got to check out and playtest for a while, as my fucking computer does some crazy shit. One of the games I got to try out and playtest for a while is a game called Breach. And one of the guys from the company that created the game, they're based out of Austin. And right now it's on Steam Early Access, but we might get codes, so maybe we can stream it soon. But they said the game's like Left 4 Dead meets Diablo, and it kind of is, but I wouldn't say fully. But so this game, it's definitely got the Left 4 Dead in it because it's a 1v4 game, and the one person can take control of the monsters at any time in the game. So there's like these rifts, and you have to complete these objectives and try to complete these objectives within a mission itself. And you go to these different areas and fight a bunch of monsters, and there's these rifts that the one person uses to control all of these different types of monsters. So like you can pick different zombies in Left 4 Dead. You can take control of different monsters in this game. And there's like you have to escort this thing through one room, or you have to stand on a point in one room, or you just have to kill all the monsters in another room. And the one person is trying to stop you the entire time. And I think what intrigues me the most about this is you can have a group of 5 friends, and you can set it up to where just one of your friends is the bad guy. One of your friends is the villain, while your other 4 try to take him out. And like in Left 4 Dead and in like in all of those other games, maybe they do it in some of the horror ones that I haven't really played, like Dead by Daylight and stuff like that. I haven't really checked them out, but you never really could set it up where you could play as like a big group of friends where one person was playing as the villains, or you had like a group that was specifically playing as the villains. So I'm really intrigued by this game Breach, and it's got that top-down view of Diablo. But here's one of the coolest things about it to me is as you're playing characters and unlocking them, after you finish a mission, you can get completely customizable gear. So if you finish a mission and beat the boss, which he said I was one of only 5 people to beat the boss, which means people are worse at video games than I previously thought because it was fucking easy. But as you complete the boss, you can get gear just like you would get in Diablo 3 that you can use in missions moving forward and shit. But the other thing about that is as you play characters and unlock their skills and stuff, you can start to you can take like 2 characters and play styles and start to mesh them together and create your own meta character. And they have tons of classes. And the way that you can, like, the way that he said it was like a linear progression where you can mesh these different playstyles and these different classes. It seems like a really, really cool fucking game. But I don't, like, how do we feel about 1v4 games now? I feel like they almost never work out. You know?
Usually
like,
no.
Left 4 Dead was fun. Left 4 Dead 2 was fun. But outside of those two, what was the last 1v4 game where it was like, whoa, that one's fucking amazing? The rest of them feel like they've been flops.
Well, yeah, remember that the Left 4 Dead series aren't 1v4. You could have multiple.
Right, yeah, it's not 1v4. You're right. You're right.
I mean, there's not many of them, to be honest.
That one where it was like the big planet,
the big
and
fucking
you gotta, like,
monster.
kill the monsters and
Oh,
4
man.
people, 1 dies.
You're talking about Evolution?
Yes. Yeah, and it was supposed to be so good, and that was a
Evolve.
flop. Evolve.
Yeah. That short word, whatever.
Yeah,
It did not work out.
But I'm not a big fan. Like, I played Dead by Daylight a little bit. I played like 5 games, and then I was just done with it.
Dying Light?
No, not Dying Light. Dead by Daylight.
Yeah, Dead by Daylight.
It's the horror 1v4 game where somebody plays a serial, like one of the killers, and then the 4 people have to try to escape
Dying
from
Light
it.
had a mode like that too.
Dying Light.
I don't think so.
Dying Light
I
was the
played
game
too
that I
many
stopped playing because there was the one moment, I think I was in the party with you actually, Carrie, where I almost shit myself because I was running away from stuff, and it took me forever, and I've never been more terrified in my life, so I stopped playing that game.
You keep playing at that point. You shit yourself. And you keep playing.
You don't. You stop playing.
Now that you bring it up, like there are several of them out there. You know, you have the Dead by Daylight series. You have Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th.
You have, Evolve.
Evolve was the only one that I could think of that was just like an abject failure. But the other ones, people play them and they're relatively successful.
And I think the problem with Evolve was their kind of like model where they released like 7 or 8 different ways to buy the game, and none of them had the full game. Yeah. Like it was just this like really fucked up. I think it was EA, right? That sounds like an EA thing.
Yeah,
to do.
I think it was an EA game.
So I don't know. This sounds great. I would love to try it out.
Yeah.
I think for games like this, you do really need a critical mass of players, though, which hopefully they don't struggle to get.
I think he said they already have a pretty decent base of players right now. And this is one of the cool things. So they call it a dungeon brawl, and that's kind of what it is, which is pretty cool. But the one thing they have is that it's modern Earth and mythological Earth colliding in this one co-op game, which is pretty nice. Like, and it's instead of zombies, it's like demons and shit like that. But the classes seem really, really cool. Like you have your core tropes in an RPG where you've got your DPS, your healer, your tanks and stuff like that. And then you can kind of start to, he said that like one of the things you can do is if you want to play a healer but you hate standing back and you want to be a part of the action, well then you can take a healing class and a fighting class and you can put them into a frontline healer. So you can be like a more defensive healer. Or you can take a DPS and a healer and you could be a ranged DPS and a healer, but you could do all these different play styles and stuff like that. And they have so many different heroes, and the Veil Demon is what they call what you end up playing. If you're the one person that's the bad guy, you're the Veil Demon. But I don't know, man. It was really, really fun, and it didn't feel too difficult. The one thing I love is because it's not incredibly graphically intense. It runs really smoothly. Like there was no jitters. Nothing was really that buggy, and it ran. Now I was playing it on a fucking Alienware, like the brand new Alienware laptop that they announced, like the 51M or whatever. But it ran really, really smooth, and I feel like this is one of those games that we could play, and a lot of people could just play. You play it like once or twice a week just because you want to have fun with a group of dudes. Wait, That sounded bad.
Mm-hmm.
Not that kind of fun with a group of dudes. But yeah, we'll end up playing this at some point. It looks like they're going to be doing like Breach Invitationals too. So it'll be interesting to see if they try to bring a competitive aspect to it. You know, I'm at some point, if we play this and they do that, I'm going to think that we can compete in some way, which is absolutely not true. But anyhow,
you will think that, and you will be wrong.
All right. Well, thank you very much for watching us and watching our Captain Marvel review and letting me wax poetic about a fun game that I played at South by Southwest this weekend. Let us know what you thought about Captain Marvel. Comment on this afterwards, and we'll respond to it and things like that. But go follow us on, obviously, facebook.com/NerdedUpPod. Go follow the Game Fanatics on Facebook as well. And then you can follow us on Twitter at NerdedUpPod. And the Game Fanatics at the Game Fanatics on Twitter. We're gonna try to stream. My schedule's pretty light the next couple of weeks because the radio station's gonna be doing some of the March Madness stuff, so I won't be working a lot of nights. So I'm gonna have time to stream in games. So we'll try to do a stream this week. Just follow the page, like us, and you'll see what day and what time we're gonna stream. Maybe a couple of days, hopefully, maybe. So that way we're not lazy anymore and we can stay consistent. But anyway, see you guys later. Goodbye.
Bye.